Now everyone's kind of like doing their own thing, and I'm the only one trying to keep it together.
Shazam! Fury of the Gods is dead on arrival. And that's not because the movie is bad or anything that the filmmakers or anybody did, but that's because DC and Warner Brothers have messed up so badly that they need to reboot everything, and this movie is just getting caught in the crossfire. So when you're looking at Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and you're looking at the whole cast and the crew and the director, it's directed by David F. Sandberg, and it's written by Henry Gayden and Chris Morgan, and they do a really good job here of getting the sort of vibe of Shazam 1, but improving on it and making all of the characters actually into characters instead of just sort of comedy sketches. So you have stars Zachary Levi, you have Grace Caroline Curry, Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, Rachel Zegler, Adam Brody, Asher Angel, Jack Dylan Grazer, and Jaimin Hounsou. And you have all of them together, and this movie really puts more of a focus on the human characters as opposed to just the superheroes. So being a Shazam! Fury of the Gods, a Shazam movie, it focuses a lot on the human aspect of everything. You get a lot from Freddy, and you get less from Billy because he's mostly Shazam the entire time, but Freddy really is the centerpiece of this movie as a human character. His relationship with Billy and the rest of the family and his overall family, and of course Rachel Zegler's character, Anne, which is shortened because I don't want to spoil anything, but her name is a little bit longer in the film. He is the backbone. He is the emotional weight of this entire film, and a lot of what goes on happens because of him. He gets a lot to work with here, but everybody else does too. Asher Angel is fantastic when you get to see him as Billy. If they continue with this character in James Gunn's DCEU, we really I want to see him come back because he's just such a great actor in this. He knows what to do. He gets the right emotional weight to the scenes when it's a big sad scene. He gets it. Freddy is also great. Hopefully Freddy can return if they do Shazam in James Gunn's upcoming DC universe that we're getting. But the human characters here are fantastic. Where it lacks a bit is in some of the technical aspects and just sort of the pacing of the film. The film, I don't want to say that the CG is bad, because in a lot of points it actually is really good, especially the fight scenes between, Shazam and the big-ass dragon and all of that. That scene in particular is breathtaking. It happens near the end of the film, but it's like a comic book page ripped to life. There's a very dark background, and there's just lightning and everything, and it just looks really cool. But some of the other scenes, especially in the beginning when they're saving people from like the bridge collapse or something like that, some of the cars just straight up don't look like cars. They look like just like flat, smooth blocks. And so this doesn't look like a situation where it was like with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, where they were using the volume because they were filming on location or filming in sound stages for this one in Atlanta. But the CGI in certain places is a bit dodgy, but it doesn't distract overall from the film itself. It's not like there's something that just stands out, like there's like a character, like what was the one from Justice League, Steppenwolf, that looked kind of crappy in the first version, and then they cleaned it up for Zack Snyder's Justice League. The rest of the family does get a bit of a focus here. You do have a good focus on Mary, who's played by Grace Caroline Curry. And obviously you can see all of the memes here that everybody loves her and are seeing the movie just for her. Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu are also just menacing as hell in this film. They're both great antagonists for Shazam. They're a nice balance to Zachary Levi because, it is like a giant man-child, basically. And then there's two ancient Greek goddesses that are there to mess everything up and take back their world. When you look at everything through Shazam! Fury of the Gods, the acting is there, the writing is there, the character work is there, but through some of the dodgy CGI, and in particular this problem, the pacing of the film is paced very strangely, where there's a lot focused on the family aspect of it, and so it feels like they could have just trimmed out some of this and clipped some of these bushes. And then obviously this is a very personal critique, but I absolutely hate in movies when people have swords and shields like they're knights of the round table and they're wearing clothes like this. It makes no sense. It looks stupid to me. There's a scene in this movie where they're riding unicorns, and they're not the traditional unicorns you're going to look at, and this isn't a spoiler, but they're just normal people on top of unicorns, and it looks so unbelievably stupid, and that's just a really personal critique of mine, because I hate when movies do that. I've hated it since I was a kid. It just looks stupid, but the movie does this. If that you don't care about that. It's not going to distract you as much from it. Other than that, the biggest criticism I have is for the story itself, because there is a Deus Ex Machina moment at the end of this movie that is so confoundingly dumb. It's such an obviously bad choice for the film, but it's there because it needs to be there, or it's there because they had this person to do it. And so I'm not going to say what it is or who it is or how they do it, but it is so confoundingly stupid in the grand scheme of this plot that they just show up and here they are to save the day, and then there's some jokes, and it's like, this is so awful. Why would they do this? If this was the original plan all along, it would be even dumber, but it's stupid now because they're rebooting everything, so it doesn't really matter. But in the end of the day, those choices and stuff like that don't take away too much from Shazam! Fury of the Gods being an entertaining movie. If you're going out to go see Shazam! Fury of the Gods and you're going because you want to connect to the DC universe at large, sorry, because it's done. This current iteration is done. But going to go see a movie just to connect to the other movies is stupid. That's not why we go see movies. It is a sequel, so if you loved Shazam 1, you'll love Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Just don't go see it just to be like, okay, cool, how is this going to connect to the next DC thing? Go see a movie to see a movie on its own, to be on its own merits. So if you get all that out of the way, Shazam! Fury of the Gods is an entertaining movie, but it is a bit flawed. The whole premise of it is very interesting. It's very fun. It's a very sort of effects-heavy movie, but there's a lot of other stuff that goes into it. There's a lot of character work, and there's a lot of great performances in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. So if I have to give it a grade, I'm going to give it a 79 out of 100. It doesn't quite reach, wonderful heights, but it does end up being pretty entertaining at the end of the day. So make sure to go check it out in theaters this Friday from DC. And if you like more movie content, make sure to check out this playlist to see all of my movie reviews.